Hello, class 4. I hope all of you are keeping well. In this new academic session 2020 and 21, I will take social study for you. This is the book for you, My World and I. Today, we will study the first chapter. Before I begin the lesson, let me ask you what you understand by the term called history. In simple word, history means his story. HIS, his means man. That means the story of man. History means the story of the past events and people. Look at the first chapter. The first chapter is the story of the past. I will read and explain the chapter. When you find out about past events in your family or look at old family pictures, you are learning your family history. History tells us about the past. All people have a past. It could be about your parents, about your friends, or in the locality something happened in the past, or in the district, state, the country, or in the world. Anything that happened in the past, that is called history. Places like buildings, cities, and countries also have a history, and therefore we can say that by learning history, we learn about the events that had happened in the past to people and to places, and how these past events happened, and why this past event happens, that also we learn from history. We also learn from history about famous people and also lives of ordinary people when we read history. Why do we learn history? Or in other word, what is the importance of learning or studying history? There are many reasons why we should learn history. The first thing is learning about the past is interesting. See, few decades ago, we did not have internet. We did not have laptop, computer, cell phone. Therefore, we had to take the help of page and pen to write a letter to our friends or to our parents or to do any official work. Now we hardly use pen and paper. Instead, we email the letter by using the internet. Second point, history helps us to understand how people of earlier times lived. Now you know we have cars, trains, aeroplanes, super fast trains which we avail to go from one place to the other within short period of time. But think of the transport system maybe just 50 years back in our country. People had to go from one place to the other by using bullock carts. And so you could imagine how much time it would take to go from one place to the other. Now, if you want to go to Shillong by flight from Kolkata, it will take just 45 minutes. If you want to go to Digha by train from Howrah, it will take just 3 hours. So, the life has changed, and we come to know about this when we learn history. Go to the next page, page number 12. Third point, history helps us to understand many things in our world today. Many things happened in the past. We come to know about them when we learn history. Like why we celebrate 15 August as the Independence Day, why we celebrate 26th January as Republic Day, and 2nd October Gandhi Jayanti. Timelines in history. When you learned about events that had happened in your family, you also learned when they happened. In the same way, when we learn about events in history, we learn when they happened. And therefore, timeline is very important. Why? Because it tells us the order in which the events took place in the past. If you have noticed, or if you have found any old diary in your family that is maintained by your parents or your grandparents, you have seen they have written some incidents or some events daily basis in their diary. And if you have noticed, and if they have at all mentioned the date, then it becomes very helpful to you to understand when that particular incident or event took place in your family. So you get a clear picture of a chronological events took place in your family by reading the diary. Similarly, here an example given. Look at the book. 1869, Mahatma Gandhi is born. 1947, India becomes independent. 1950, India becomes a republic. 1975, India launches its first satellite, Aryabhatta. 2013, India sends a space mission to the planet Mars. Look at here. If you subtract 1947 from 1947, 1869, you will get 78 years. So, by seeing this, you can understand that Mahatma Gandhi, who was one of the prominent leader for India's struggle for freedom, was born 78 years before India got independence. Then if you subtract 1947 from 1950, you will get 3. That means India became a republic democratic country after 3 years of independence. Then you see, in 1975, India launches its first satellite, and 2013, India sends a space mission to the planet Mars. That means after the independence, India slowly got its space mission better and better. That is why timeline is very important to understand the events of the past. Periods of history. Time is continuous. There is no end point. We have divided the time into days, months, and years. Like time, history is also continuous. Historians means those who study history. They have divided the history into periods so that we can easily understand when events happened. And they have divided the past events or history into 3 periods. First period is ancient period or very old period. Then medieval period, which is middle period. And the last one is the modern period, the more recent period. Now, to sum up the whole lesson, what we learned today. First, we learned what is history. History is study of people and events of the past. Then we learned why should we study history. We study history because it is interesting, it helps us to understand the past, and also it helps us to understand the world today. Then we learned timelines. Timelines helps us to understand the order in which different events took place in the past. And the last we learned why historians have divided history into 3 periods. That is ancient period, medieval period, and modern period. Dear students, in the next video, I will discuss the exercises given in the book, and I will help you to write the answers. Thank you.